everything is handcrafted with love. We specialize in personal and custom-made baskets, bracelets, candles, and more. So when you're looking for that perfect gift or just need a custom arrangement, don't hesitate to contact Lady T's Elegant Creations, where everything is handcrafted with love.
For more information, please call 609 531 1756.
All right, welcome back to Let's Get It after a phenomenal first segment where we discussed a lot of great topics, talked about the Eagles head coach, talked about, of course, Hank Aaron, and of course, if you guys tune back in, we had Joe's lead pipe locks of the week and all his picks for the games. You're going to want to tune back into that. We have a phenomenal segment for you right now. We're going to be talking more about the Sixers. We're going to be talking about a little bit about some local high school basketball, but I wanted to go back real quick. We had ended last segment. Jay had made a comment saying that if Ben Simmons is doing what he's asking a point guard to do, and Marcus had taken a big breath. So, Marcus, I want to give you a chance to, talk about that big breath and what you were thinking.
I agree with the statement. He's playing as a point guard supposed to play. However, he's not on this team. He's not just the point guard, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. He is the second best player on this team, which means you need to do what second best players on the team need to do. Which, in my opinion, just really comes down. He needs to attempt to score the ball more, because the NBA is a scoring league.
Yes.
Teams are scoring 120 some odd points a night. Mm-hmm. For him to play 30 plus minutes and take 5 shots, there's somebody out there that can do more than that.
True.
Now, defensively, phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't ever question that part of the game.
Sure. And in the last 6 quarters, especially last night, if he played every game like he played last night, I'm cool. I'm good. Good. He was looking to score. He was trying to get to the rim. He was posting up to score, not to pass the ball out. And then in the second half, that was all in the first half. And now in the second half, he's driving. Everybody's collapsing. Now guys are open for shots. So I think if he can figure out how to do that consistently, I'll sign up for that. I just can't sign up for the guy who plays 38 minutes and takes 4 shots. Like that's not, because the guys around him, in my opinion, aren't good enough to carry the load in a 7-game series against a good team.
No, I agree. But I'm saying good enough. When you say good enough, I think you're right. I think Ben is the second most talented player on the team. But if he's like driving, and he's only taking 4 shots, but he's driving, he's kicking, and now Danny Green, because Danny Green, I feel like I haven't seen him hit a 3 since.
He's playing better.
Is he starting to play better?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's still chucking them out. If he gets a 3 or Seth Curry makes a 3 or whatever, then I'm like, okay, because now Seth Curry and Danny Green or whatever, they got maybe 17 and 15 respectfully, but Ben only got maybe 9 or 10. I'm okay with that because there's offensive distribution. Joe is getting his 20 to 30 points.
Joe maybe
Tobias,
in the league right now.
Tobias is getting his 15 to 20.
Shout out
You know
to
what I'm saying?
Tobias.
Like
He is
Tobias.
playing.
So everybody's playing better.
Even in all that math you did, we're around 80 points.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess.
Do you know?
Yeah,
Do you know?
yeah,
What
so
I'm
I
saying?
get
I think if Ben scores early, I think
to set the tone. I'll give you
Now guys can get those 15.
Right. That's usually what
20.
he does, though. He's supposed to do.
But I think when he ends up taking 4, like last night, he went into this. At halftime he had 14 points.
14 points, right?
And like he had 14 points, 4 assists, something like
Right.
that. Now I forget his exact numbers when he ended, but I know
Like
at
20.
the end of the third quarter he had 9 assists.
Right.
So the defense has to play him differently.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? He's
Right.
never going to be the guy at the end of the quarter. He's not. That's not him. Like I've settled into that.
Right.
Like he's not going to be that guy.
Right.
Okay. But he still has. He's 6'10". He's super athletic. He should still be able to get 17 to 22 points a game just
Right.
off of that.
No, I think Ben is. I think Ben has a problem now. I think a lot of people have is that they kind of don't respond until the negativity is there. Like I forget it was a playoff series, and I want to say it was with Brooklyn. Okay, when did they play Brooklyn? Not 2 years in a row. They played them with Jimmy.
They played him the year before
Jimmy,
and then I think they played him with Jimmy also. I don't know. They played him
Okay.
the year before.
But
Jimmy.
it was one of them games where somebody had got the best of Ben. And they was like, oh, Ben this, Ben that, Ben whatever. But he turned around, and let me tell you, he turned around and then came back that next game. Dropped, I think, like 25, 27 or whatever. So, Ben, you know, he's been hearing a lot of talk. He's been hearing the stuff from the fans, whatever. Plus, they was trying to trade him. Okay? His first real game, I felt like, this is that Ben a little bit, was the other night versus Boston. I thought he played very. I thought he played very well. The
last
second
two
half.
quarters, yeah.
But then you as a coach, I mean, something happens to you once you start seeing the ball flow through the net, though.
For sure.
Right. So I think that confidence carried on forward to last night's game, and hopefully it'll continue to carry forward.
Well, the thing is,
I like Ben, man.
I love Ben.
I think Ben is critical to the team. And I think the way he's playing, I think it's okay. But we need Curry and Green and the rest of them other shooters. They need to make sure they're hitting their shots.
But see, like, think about that statement. Like, we need all these other guys to do their thing so that our second best player can do his thing. It should be the other way around.
I got you. I mean, yeah. I think if he had that confidence in that Jay.
I agree. I think it has a lot to do with his
I think
confidence.
it's a confidence
I think he's
thing.
an insecure person.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you know, here's the thing, though. They made a point, though, today, and it was interesting on the radio when I was listening, was that if Ben has the people around him, obviously, it makes him better, you know. But, you know, because when Curry was out, you know, you could see the big difference, you know, and that's a big play right there.
Yeah.
So that's what makes him better. I mean, you know,
Right.
right now, and people were making arguments, too, that Tobias is playing the second best on the team, you know.
He seems a lot more confident.
Well,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Tobias, his numbers, I think he was 19.4 points per game, 90% from the free throw line,
And I think
45% from three.
that's
like-
leadership. See, that, to
And
me, that
he
tells me
looks
leadership.
he looks
is better.
confident too.
Yeah.
He's taking those shots with confidence. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, in other years, like last year, he was, you know, a little more hesitant.
Yeah, but
So-
I mean, I'm seeing him, you know, get into three on the fast break transition.
Yes.
I'm seeing him drive, and he's looking silky smooth. I'm seeing him even do a little creating, nothing like what I saw under Brett Brown.
Simple stuff.
Just simple stuff. And I'm like, yo, Tobias ain't bad.
Well, that comes down to coaching, and you know, and we all talked about Doc Rivers, you know, being, you know, the difference maker.
Right.
And you know, with that said, you know, talking about coaching, you know, joining us, we have Coach Andrew Cantonese from the Triton High School boys basketball team. Coach, how are you this morning? 1 second there, just a little technical difficulty. All right, how we doing?
Hey,
All
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me on.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, you know, we're going around. We're trying to get a lot of the local high school coaches on and just kind of have a pulse of the local high school season. You know, of course, we have the coach here at Holy Cross with us. You know, Marcus, so I know you know
Oh, yeah.
also. You know, and you know, we're excited to have you on, and you know, obviously too, you know, we'll continue to follow your team and continue to follow the success. I hope it isn't the only time you join us this year. But you know, Coach, I know that you told me you're going into your 6th year this year of coaching.
Yep.
And you know, you said you're coming off a little bit of a tough season.
Yeah. We last year didn't really work out the way we had hoped, but you know what? It happened, and we're gonna just work to get better this year. So
Yeah,
that's our
absolutely.
focus.
Absolutely. Now tell me this, Coach. I know there's a couple players we want to get to. There are some big names to look out for, though.
Yeah.
But the first thing I want to ask you is, when you come, I mean, there's a couple questions, but the first thing is, for you yourself, what is your coaching philosophy? When you come to the court, what you bring to the team? Like, what's your philosophy?
No, I just want to bring energy to every single practice as a coach. You know, I've kind of had to rework my coach philosophy here. I've always been more of an offensive coach, but especially going into this year, you know, my focus is really on the defensive end of the ball. You know, we're playing tough man-to-man defense, and that's really the foundation of what we do this year. You know, we had our first scrimmage yesterday, and it looked good. It looked good, especially for not being able to work out all summer. You know, everything looks solid. But, you know, obviously we want energy. We want to play fun style of basketball on the offensive side of the court, but then again on the defensive side, tough, physical, and make teams really earn every single point they score. So.
Yeah, this sounds good. Like I know you had mentioned there too, and is that in the COVID time, coaching and being involved with your players has taken a different approach at all levels. What impact for you really do you see? Where obviously you're a little bit behind the eight ball, but how has the coaching difference been with COVID for you?
It's just kind of learning all the new protocols. A big challenge is, really the accountability that the guys got to have outside of basketball. What are they doing on their own time? There's a level of trust there that we got to have in all of our guys because again, our season could end tomorrow. It's a little crazy, but as far as the in-game stuff, it's basketball hasn't really changed. There's some different rules that are taking a little bit of adjustments, but it's nothing too crazy. In practice, we got to figure out how to keep our JV team separate from our varsity as much as we can, but at the same time, keeping that entire program feeling. So that's definitely a challenge.
No, absolutely. And speaking of on the court, though, I know there's a couple players you told me about. The first one is Bobby Beecher, who's a 6'4" junior, and he led the conference in threes last year, and he's a big player to watch. You were telling me about?
Yeah, Bobby's a talented kid. He was a kid coming in as a freshman we had our eye on. He got some time his freshman year. We had a few key injuries 2 years ago, and he stepped right in. So, took a little time to get used to the varsity level going from 8th grade. But then his sophomore year, he kind of exploded there. He really did well. For a while, he was about halfway through the season, he was shooting 50% from the 3-point line.
Wow.
Which is, really kid's an impressive shooter. And then this year, he's taken on much more of a leadership role, which is tough. Bobby's a great kid. It's tough for him because he's a quiet kid. So now he's learning to be more vocal, more demanding on the court. But we're expecting big things this year.
No, that's fantastic, and I know that I saw Coach over here shaking his head, acknowledging, but knows the name and knows highly of him.
He can definitely shoot the ball. There's no doubt about that.
So another young man was Akeem, if I say this right, Boburn. Boburn, yeah. He's a senior. I know you were saying you have some big expectations from his sophomore season where he was leading and rebounding. So you're looking for a big season from him.
Yeah, Akeem's a very, very athletic kid. He's very Dennis Rodman-like. Right? He's he just is a defensive presence, can block shots, and then has a little bit of an undersized big man. He just has a knack to rebound the ball. He just attacks rebounds. And last year he was dealing with a little bit of a back injury, so his numbers dipped a little bit. But this year he's healthy, and we're expecting big things from him too. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I coached Akeem that spring.
Yeah.
I think going into his sophomore year, and Coach used to, in AAU, and Coach used to tell me, how he was expecting big things. And at the time, I was kind of like, I'm not sure if it's there for him. But he's absolutely right. The kid just works hard. He gets every single rebound. And Dennis Rodman's a good comparison, minus all the other craziness of Dennis Rodman. He would go in, and we would be playing against teams that had 6'8", 6'9" guys, and he would just end up with rebounds somehow, some way. He just figured out a way to get it done, and he's definitely emerged. And I know his sophomore year, he was definitely one of the top rebounders, I believe, in the state.
He was top 10 in rebounds in the state his sophomore year. Yeah.
Now, Coach, if I can ask you a question real quick. Who are some of your biggest, rivals? Like, what conference are they? I don't really know what conference you guys play in.
So we're in the Tri-County.
Tri-County, okay.
Yeah, we're Tri-County. We used to be Olympic Conference about 9 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, wow. That was the good old days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like our crosstown rival is Highland. You know,
Okay.
I know that the Highland game is always a big year every year.
And they got a good guard out there. I think is that the what's his name, Day Wilt kid? Is he that guard out there? I think.
Tavares.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's tough.
He's a talented player.
He's
Definitely
tough.
a talented player.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you play Highland like Timber Creek too?
Timber Creek's a crossover game for us.
Okay.
They're not in our division, but we do play them this year. I coached at Timber Creek for 4 years before I took over as the head coach at Triton.
Okay.
And they're always tough.
Yeah.
They're always tough. You know, you get five really athletic kids on the court that can play basketball.
Okay.
You know, that's just a winning recipe right there.
So now, do you play Lindenwold? Is that in that conference, Lindenwold, or no?
No, we do not play Lindenwold.
Okay.
No, they're in the Colonial.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh no, but it sounds like you got a great season head coach, and I know that we're going to continue to follow you, with some of the players that you had mentioned, and again, maybe we have you back on. We'd also love to have a player or two, that should come join you too at some point to continue to just kind of touch base, get with the community. Now I know also off the court, you are also a big football guy, and so we talked about. Give me your prediction for the championship games today.
Oh man, I want to see my heart. I want to see the Packers win. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think.
Is that because you don't like Tom Brady, or you love Aaron Rodgers?
No, not so much. Not as much that. I just think Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback in the NFL that gets a lot of recognition, but I always feel like he's a little overlooked at times. And then, but my, I'm thinking it's tough to bet against Tom Brady today. So.
Oh yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I actually have a buddy of mine who always says that, Brady's not even the best number 12 during his playing time. And when he says that, he refers to Rodgers being better than Brady as an actual talent level. But that's very questionable. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's you can't go against 6 rings. That's that's something that you can't bet against. You can't bet against that.
no, absolutely. What about the second game? I know that a lot of people are kind of torn on the Bills and the Chiefs.
I just think the Bills. I love
Yes.
watching the Chiefs play. I'm a big Andy Reid guy. I just think this year the Bills are just too tough. Just too tough.
Yeah, I think their defense is going to be good. I think that Josh Allen
Yeah.
is awesome. And just switching
Oh,
gears,
he's great.
and just switching gears real quick too before you let you go. I know you said you follow the Sixers. What's your thoughts on where the Sixers are at this year and the jump they've made with Doc Rivers?
Oh my gosh, bringing Doc Rivers in was perfect. Just the X's and O's. Obviously, he gets all that, but just the way he gets his guys to play. I was listening in earlier, and you guys were talking about Tobias. He just seems to bring out the best in Tobias whenever he's in charge. So Tobias, I always thought Tobias was a great, number 2, number 3 guy there. He's perfect for that. Embiid, I wasn't really sold on Embiid before the season. I just thought there was some, effort things there, but his talent level speaks for itself. And then obviously this year,
Yeah, he's taking his game to a whole different level.
yeah, whole different level. I think he's the runaway MVP right now. And hopefully he can keep that up.
And what about Mr.
Yeah.
Number 25?
You
You can't
yeah, Marcus, hey man,
How would you approach
he
that
was
as
the
a
guy.
coach?
He oh man, I don't know. Like before the season, I'm thinking, everybody's talking about trade one of the guys, and I was a big like, all right, I just don't. I think Embiid, his effort was not consistent, and as a younger guy, I think you went with Ben Simmons, but it's tough right now because he is very effective. He's an incredible defensive player, but this is a shooter's game today, you know, and especially at the guard position, having a guy that just is not willing to score the ball, I think is what Marcus said. You know, not forget the 3-point shooting, but you need your point guard to score at times.
Yeah.
So
Nobody's
you know,
and to double down on that, you said you need your point guard to score at times.
yeah.
How many times? You know what I'm saying? And we're just talking about point guard, not Ben Simmons, just point guard. You need your point guard to score at times.
I mean, I think all 5 guys need to be a threat, you know, and at times I don't think Ben is a threat, you know.
I agree.
It's tough to look in the scorebook at times and see he took 2 shots.
Not to cut you off,
and
man, but like, for me, and I think you'll agree with this. It's not so much the point guard that needs to score. It's whoever has the ball. If he's going to have the ball that much, he needs to be a threat, like the way you're saying. You know, if he was going to be your prototypical point guard where he comes down, passes the ball, and doesn't get it back, like, okay, I mean, I guess he's not going to score. But he has the ball in his hands 75 to 85% of the game. Like, he's going to have to be a threat.
I don't know. I mean,
absolutely.
I see on the Doc Rivers. I'm not saying I disagree with that, right? So Ben, he brings the ball up, and then he passes, and then the ball makes his way around and looking to dump it into Joe, right? And then Joe gets double teamed, and then they swinging the ball around trying to find open shots. Now on the transition, Doug. I mean, I'm sorry. I think we're talking about Carson's and whatever. No, Ben on the transition going downhill, like he has the ball. And you're right. So there are times when he's going
but every
downhill.
time he goes, Ben, it's all of a sudden he came to a cliff and he just is like, all right, can't go any further.
Not every time,
Almost.
but a lot of times. You're right. And that's where I think he needs to clean that up. But then also a lot of times where I see him make some great passes.
There's no question.
Great passes.
The court vision is almost second to none.
And that's what I'm saying. So if you look at we're talking about him being defensive. We talk about him, the court vision. We talk about him meeting his requirements as a point guard. Okay. Now what he's not meeting is the superstar level.
Right.
And that is the issue.
And that's what it's going to take to advance in the playoffs, which is what it all comes down to. We've seen this movie before where we win 55 games, 60 games, whatever it is. We've seen all that.
Well, we just started seeing that. I mean, the Sixers was trash before what?
Before Ben and Joe started playing.
So that was what? But what was that? 2017? It wasn't that long ago.
That's fine.
Right. So he needs a little. I just think that give him a look. Now that he has the proper.
But why could no? Enough with that. Give him slack crap. Because why could guys like a Luka? No, because why could a guy like
right? He does it all the time. He trips himself up all the time.
Hear me out. Because we have plenty of guys who come in the league and dominate from the start and show that killer mentality. Luka Doncic, Devin Booker. Other guys come into the league, and Simmons at no point has showed you a killer attitude. So why do you continue to give him a break?
Marcus, I mean, you could do the honors. Okay.
Okay.
Because, we could compare this to some other people in other sports that whatever. But I'm not going there. But here's my thing. Listen, since Ben has been on the court, the Sixers have been a better team.
If he has the right players around him. Because if the players are around him, because if it's on his shoulders to lead that team, he cannot do it.
Well, I don't know if there's ever been a season where it's been on Ben's shoulders.
No, but in games where he's asked to step up, he's not able to step up.
There's been games that he's stepped up. There's been more games where he hasn't stepped up. So he's stepped up.
So then again, what Marcus said. That narrative that we've seen looks like it may play out again, because when is he going to decide that I'm going to step up more than I'm not going to step up? What is going to make that happen? I know the other day he made that comment, that I don't look at social media, I don't look at all that.
But he's supposed to say that.
No, but then he came out and it was like, that's the intensity that we need every game.
Right. If he plays the way he played last night and even the second half of the Boston game, then we got something.
What,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so last night we won by 4 against a garbage Pistons team.
Yeah.
Right. So who didn't step up? The bench. The bench was horrible.
Wait. Oh, you're talking about Mr. Untradeable?
I'm talking about Matt. The bench. That's good. The bench didn't step up, right?
No.
My thing is this. Listen, I think you gotta let Ben be Ben. Let Ben be Ben, and just let Doc coach it all together. And that's why you're getting the results that you're getting. Because even when Ben's not being a superstar, we're still number 1 in the East. It's early. We haven't really played. But those Boston games were pretty good games, but you didn't have Tatum.
Right.
You didn't have
And
Tatum.
if they have Tatum, I think they lose because
I don't know that.
I don't know.
I don't know that.
I don't know. We'll
I don't
see.
know that. You know,
I
and
know.
Brown had an unbelievable.
Oh,
out of his
Jalen was
mind
unbelievable.
game.
Right.
Right. He's decent. He's good.
But listen, real quick, Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, I got one question. I got
sure.
one question
I got
for
one
Coach
question.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
He's trying to get you off the
Go
line,
right ahead,
Coach.
guys.
No, go ahead. I just didn't want to hold. I didn't want to hold you up, Coach.
No.
No.
He made a statement though. You guys, he said, yeah, I know you're a big football guy, right? And let me
I don't know
ask
if I'm
you.
that big a football guy, but I like watching.
Okay, are you an Eagle fan?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I don't know how this got thrown
right.
into here. but
No,
okay.
because you made a statement.
All good.
So are you a Carsonite?
Yeah. I mean, I thought at some point this season he needed to sit down.
All right. Let me get a round of applause for.
Yeah.
Let me get a round of applause for him.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
At least he's honest.
It took me a while to get to that point.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I think it's tough to give up on a guy that you're paying that much money. You know.
I hear that.
But I think he was in his own head, and at some point you just got to take a seat and just kind of reflect on what's not going well.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, though. As a fan of Carson, Andrew. Here's the thing. But this is the first time, though, also that you've said, Carson, I need you to be better. Like and you realize that we don't know what we have in him, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, and it's tough to argue with what some of the stuff that Jalen Hurts did. He looked pretty good at times.
at times.
At times. And then at times he didn't look so good. But I think Carson just needs to take a step back and evaluate himself here. Which wasn't going well.
I just gonna say this. I'm gonna let Coach ask his question. I just say this, man. It's amazing. I really don't understand. So you're happy. I'm sure you're happy with the Eagles hire because that hire was directly correlated with Carson being able to be the number 1 starter and get his job.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I really don't.
Oh, I know you don't know, but I mean everybody could see that he was brought in to coach Carson and to be able to have Carson's way. So the problem with that, and you as a coach and also coach here, is that what happens when you give a player the keys to the land and let him have his way and he dictates everything, you know what that narrative is going to be.
They have to prove that they're able to be able to control that, and
But how can you?
again, all that media stuff that came out about Carson possibly changing the plays and all that. Who knows? But I don't know. But I think last year it didn't really show that Carson could control that just yet. I don't know if he earned it that much.
I always been saying. I'm sorry, Coach. I've always been saying. Well, what really has he? I mean, besides 11, was it 11-2, 11-3, or whatever. Besides that,
I don't know how this conversation went down this path again. But okay.
We're not talking about this.
Right. But again, you know
Hey, all
what?
good?
It's all good.
No, it's not. It's don't add fuel to his fire.
No, loyalty is a good thing, and you know what? Listen, I just appreciate it. I'm gonna leave it alone. Because I can't wait till they bomb, because that's what I'm gonna save all my retribution to when they bomb.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All
Coach,
right,
go
I
ahead.
hope so.
Go ahead,
I hope
Mark.
so.
Coach Marcus.
Coach, as we look to grow the show, here's a question for you. And before you answer it, you have to, your answer, you have to be able to help us make it happen. Okay?
Okay. All right. I got it.
What other coaches in South Jersey of your colleagues would you think would be good for us to have on the show?
Oh man.
You know all the personalities out there, and
There's-
there are plenty.
Might be a personality. So a good buddy of mine, John Rosser
John Ross
from Overbrook. He was one of my first assistant coaches at Triton. Really good friend of mine.
Sounds good.
He'd be great to have one.
Sounds good. Sounds
You know, that's the first one I can think of. And then I just think if you hit a lot of the big name schools as well, but then also making sure to get, you know, some of the smaller schools as well. You know, just the diversity between the big and the small.
Sure.
You know, it'd be really fun to see some of the smaller schools coaches get on there.
Absolutely.
You know, Ron Myers, good friend of mine from Pittman.
Yep.
Steve Bell from Glassboro.
All right, so you're gonna help us make all this happen.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
let me know. Let me know.
Appreciate you.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yep.
No, Coach, man, we really do appreciate it. And once again, you know, we do, and that's one of the things, like you were saying, and you know, is getting you on here, getting all the high school coaches, you know, coaches on here, the small, the big schools, and you know, giving you guys the credit for the work that you put in, and giving the kids the credit for the work that they put in, and a chance to get some spotlight that they not usually get, especially now with fans not being able to be in the gymnasium, getting some of the kids' accolades out there every week. So once again, we appreciate you being on. Love to have you on again. Any last words?
No, just thank you guys for having me on. And like I said, anytime you guys want to have me on, I'm always on.
Well, I want to personally,
A lot of fun.
I want to personally invite you on. Definitely, I mean, definitely want you to come on before then. But I want this extended invitation to come in the fall, for when the Eagles start and Sirianni
Oh, boy.
start. I definitely want you on. Okay, because
You don't have to agree with that.
We're gonna flash back to these comments here.
Oh man. Oh man. I hope I'm not
I
even
don't
worried
I don't
about
forget
that.
much, bro. I'm gonna let you know that now. I don't forget much. So it's all good. Thank you, though.
Yeah, thanks again, guys, for having me on.
Thanks,
Lot of
Coach.
fun.
Absolutely. All right, take
Mark,
care.
Mark, good luck this season, man.
Thanks, you too.
All right, thanks. Have a good day, guys.
All right. All right. Once again, Coach Andrew Canzanese from Triton High School with a phenomenal interview for us. With that said, we're going to run a quick commercial break. Come back and get our final thoughts. You're watching Let's Get It. We'll be right back after this.